Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the channel. This is Red Dissection. I'm breaking down Manchester United absolute carnage, absolute capitulation at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Coming into the match, United were completely in the doldrums. They have no chance of qualifying for the Champions League. Europa League was also quite iffy. On the night, United were thoroughly put to the sword, thoroughly humiliated by a Crystal Palace side, 14th in the table right now. Obviously, they're playing some good football. They got the likes of OLISE and Eze in top form. MATETA has been scoring, and United had their own defensive woes. They had no match fit centre back. Obviously, Casemiro has been playing in that position, and Johnny Evans came in for this match, completely outfought, completely outgunned, and they were completely disemboweled on the pitch on the night. This is an example where statistics don't really actually tell the true story. Their expected goal is less than two, but to be honest, they could have scored 10 goals. They had 10 shots on target, and there were other shots that hit the crossbar, which are not counted as shots on target. In total, they had 18 shots and several other opportunities. We were at their mercy from the very beginning. We didn't ever put them in danger. We didn't have Dean Henderson in any trouble. Of course, we had that disallowed goal, which was a foul on Dean Henderson because Holland clearly jumped into him. It was an opportunity that the Holland gave to the officials, and they took it. It could have been given, but it was chalked off. We had the ball in a defensive third, which Crystal Palace were happy to do. They're happy to concede possession because they knew that we will eventually give away the ball, give away the possession, and they have less distance to cover in terms of attack and approaching our goal. Looking at what they face and counter on the pitch, I think this was probably the easiest match of the season. Glasner couldn't have been more happy at the fact that United didn't put up any kind of fight. The only fight that we saw for Manchester United were from the fans who were continuously jovial, continuously singing and trying to g up the players to pep them up to put some kind of a fight on the pitch, which never came. Into player ratings, this will be short. I think the performance of the players have been the same for the last couple of weeks. ONANA, I think he was at fault for two of the four goals. Any decent shot on the goal seems to end up in the back of the net. He's butterfingers. He cannot move his feet. Clearly, he's got issues on the near post, like with the MATETA goal, and it was a terrible performance for ONANA. Diego Dalot was moved again to the right side position. I think it was mainly down to the fact that OLISE was playing on the right hand side, and Ten Hag wanted Aaron Wan-Bissaka to play against him. Dalot didn't commit any kind of defensive mistake that I can remember, but in terms of the attacking play, in terms of his input in the game, there was none. I don't think he did anything noteworthy throughout the 90 plus minutes, and it was a dominant performance from Dalot. Casemiro was probably his worst performance. I think since the Coventry City match, you can see he's been playing the centre back position. I don't think he wants to play there. I think there is no love lost between him and Ten Hag. I think he's almost playing against Ten Hag and Manchester United. I think even in this match, he was involved in two of the goals we conceded, and all throughout the match, he was giving away the ball, giving away stupid falls, going to the ground so easily. He's gone beyond saving, and obviously, I don't think he'll stay in the club next season. Johnny Evans was never good enough for Manchester United, even as a youngster coming up through the ranks in the academy. I never thought that he was good enough. That's why I was let off, allowed to go a decade ago, and he wasn't good enough at that time, and sadly, he's not good enough now. He was directly responsible for the second goal that Mateta scored. Of course, ONANA could have saved it on his near post. But all through the match, there was nothing that he was offering in defense. I don't think Palace attacked him that much, but they didn't need to. They didn't need to exert themselves. I don't think they had to go beyond the second or third gear. It was an easy day out against the likes of Johnny Evans and Casemiro. Aaron Bissaka was completely clueless, playing again in the left back position. It was so easy to put a simple ball over him. His lack of sentience, his lack of awareness, his lack of urgency while defending is clear for everybody to see. I think he knows that given a chance that he'll be sold. If an offer comes, I think he should go back to a team like Crystal Palace. He'll do much better there. In terms of his footballing ability, there is none. He doesn't provide anything defensively. He may be good as a one-on-one defender, but certainly as a system defender, he's just not good enough. He's not intelligent enough, and going forward, he's a blunt instrument as well. Coming to midfield, Erikson had a nightmare on the pitch. It was tragic to see someone like him still playing in the team after his surgery and his whole episode, cardiac arrest. I think he shouldn't be playing at this level. Obviously, he played well for Brentford. Even in the first season, he was a bit part player, but obviously he's doing his job. This charitable thing that United have been doing with him, this should end. He has no place in the team or the squad. Kobi Mano was completely drawn by himself. I think we have hyped him too much. I don't see any great quality from him apart from few good touches. He's not decisive enough in the forward area. Defensively, he's just not aware about anything. I don't think he has been coached well. I think there's still talent within him, and I think he needs a good manager, a good coach to help him, learn all the tricks and trade of playing in that midfield and that kind of role. I think there's a lot lacking from his game, but I think he can be coached and learn those things. He's still young, but he leaves so much to be desired at the moment. Anthony was completely invisible, didn't get enough of the ball, wasn't involved throughout the time that he was given. He should have never started. I think Amed should have been given the start, and I think Erik ten Hag will die on this sword of keeping trust with his favorites like Anthony and Bruno Fernandes, and I think he hasn't done enough to repay the trust that the coach has put in him, even in this match. Even though there were other players who were worse than him, but sadly on his own he wasn't good enough. Mason Mount, again a forgettable performance. He's just not good enough. He was never good enough. Even for Chelsea side, I think the way they had that transfer ban where they could not invest in the summer transfer window, I think that was one of the big reasons that he got his chance in the Chelsea setup. Obviously, an academy product. They showed more patience with him, but certainly he shouldn't be at Manchester United. He never deserved that transfer. And certainly not the number 7 shirt. Garnacho probably tried in the first half. He had a couple of runs, dangerous runs, but obviously the final ball is always lacking with him. He's just not good enough. He's not consistent with his technique. There's so much lacking in his game, and I think the things that he struggled with, which Menu doesn't, is his technique, his natural ability. I think there's too much lacking in there. There's too much lacking there to ever be coached out of him. I think there's no saving him. The longer we keep persevering these kind of players who are at their best mid, I think we're never going to progress as a club and as a team. Holland, easily the worst player on the pitch. He cannot do anything good. His passing is non-existent. His movement is dire. His ability to hold the ball and play against a strong defender like Joachim Andersen, it was tragic to see. I mean, he's a sad story. The more we see of him, the more it's befuddling to understand why did we buy him. I gave some insight in his transfer, and the reason he gave was because we missed out on Harry Kane. We opted for a younger striker who's not even 10% of what Harry Kane is. I just don't understand the need for bringing in a player who doesn't score. He doesn't even know how to get into positions to score. This is one of those preposterous transfers that we've been doing for the last decade or so. Substitution, obviously, Amrabat, I think he probably was the player that looked most interested for us. He put up a fight, actually tackle OLISE for a change, which no one else did. On the ball, obviously, he's not good enough. There is no quality on the ball. But defensively, he did his job to the best he can. I think he usually send out when Ten Hag has no other option and he doesn't trust his own signing. There is nothing much that he could have done when he came on because the rest of the players weren't playing. He actually put in a fight, ran about. On the ball, he was also atrocious like others, so nothing more to add. Amad Diallo came on in around 80th minute. Just don't understand why Ten Hag would do something like this to a young player. He's absolutely killing his career right now. There was nothing to be gained when he brought him on around 80 minutes. Literally, the game had gone. The game had gone after the first 20 minutes when they scored the first goal. And Ahmad should have started. Ahmad should start every game that he's fit for Manchester United. Certainly with this squad of players, he's technically the best forward we've got easily. I think this is a travesty. What we saw Ole do to Van der Beek's career, we're seeing the same Ten Hag do to career of Amad Diallo. Ethan Wheatley came on with Ahmad around 18 minutes. I think he showed promise in terms of his movement, in terms of his aggression, in terms of his pressing. Obviously, he didn't get even close to getting a chance to score, but otherwise, I think his overall off the ball output was good. His understanding of pressing patterns was good. For the rest of the season, youngsters like him should start. I think they should be given an opportunity to try to develop some kind of partnership. Him, Ahmad Diallo, even someone like Garnacho, I think they can certainly do better than what the likes of Rashford and Holland have been doing all season. I think for the rest of the season, they should certainly give him more chance and more minutes on the pitch. This is officially the worst defensive output that we have seen from Manchester United for the last almost nearly 50 years, for 5 decades, since 1976. 81 goals we have conceded in all competitions. In Premier League, we have -3 goal difference. Just let it sink in. -3 goal difference at this stage after 35 matches. We have lost 13 games already in the season, which we have never done. The most we did under David Moyes was 12 losses, and at that time we had 64 points. And right now we're stuck as 54. And I don't see us getting any more points for the rest of the 3 matches. He's easily the worst signing that we've ever made. The worst signing, including all the players and the manager. Is certainly the worst appointment in the Glazers era, and he's epitome of what we've been as a club under the Glazers. I think watching his team play right now is like having a death with 1,000 cuts. It's painful to watch. It's tragic to watch. It's just heartbreaking, heartrending right now. And I just don't understand why we are persevering with his appointment. There are rumors this week that we're gonna stick with him till the FA Cup final. I think he's surely gone in the summer, but I don't understand why we are keeping him in the job till that time. I think it's better to get an interim for rest of the month, the rest of the season, and just give us an opportunity to have some kind of chance against Manchester City in the FA Cup final. I don't see any ray of hope. I don't see any change before the summer, at least. To be honest, I don't have trust in the new regime as well. With Jim Glazer having the golden shake with the rest of the Glazers, if Arsenal play anywhere near the level they've shown over this season, over the last couple of seasons, I think we should be completely humiliated at Old Trafford as well. I think the same with Newcastle, who are scoring a lot of goals recently. And also Brighton, who won against Aston Villa. Obviously, they have injuries, but sadly they have a lot more quality, a lot more stable. They have a coach who has a structure and a philosophy to play, and the players understand what their roles are. So I can easily see us going without any further points to our total in this season. Well, on that somber note, we're going to end this show. We'll be back for the Red Prep show before the Arsenal match. Please join us for that. Until then, take care, do good, pray for Palestinians, all the oppressed people all across the globe. Assalamu alaikum.